Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. And we've put on many conferences and events in the last 5 years, but none have had the energy that this conference has. And that's because, unlike any other conference we've had, this conference is really about the future. And I think that what we're doing here today really does represent the future of development, of investing, and even of business itself. This is really a conference about action. It's about building community and opening dialogue between impact investors, impact entrepreneurs, and field builders. Above all else, it's about rolling up our sleeves and getting to work so that everyone in this room can do what they do best. And collectively, we can create something really great together. It probably won't surprise you that we're living at an incredible historic inflection point right now. The world is changing faster than it ever has before, as Álvaro González Elorda spoke about so eloquently yesterday. And the roles and expectations of business are changing. What we expect from investors is changing. What we expect from philanthropy and traditional development is changing. And in fact, those two industries are being challenged in ways they never have before. And even changing even faster than that is technology and ideas. And this is going to have enormous implications for our field. I think I speak for all of us when I say that this accelerated pace of change is a good thing and something that we welcome and embrace. I think it's about time because the status quo is not working. We have millions and millions of families in Central America who cannot feed their children. In Nicaragua, half of the families in Nicaragua subsist in survival mode on less than $2 a day. And I think all of us feel that this situation is intolerable and that we need to do something about it. And the question is what? But even as violence and resignation marches across Central America, I don't see any resignation in this room. In fact, I see quite the opposite. I think we're all here in this room because we've discovered a much more efficient way than traditional development approaches to solve humanity's greatest challenges. And the solution that we have has really always been in front of our nose, but we've been caught up with our own ideological blinkers to see it. And the solution can be described by a simple equation. Human potential plus capital equals impact. And it's pretty simple. Find individuals with an idea that can benefit humanity and a business plan to grow that idea using market forces, and then invest in them. That's the idea. And we call these individuals impact entrepreneurs because they're creating value through job creation, through products and services that people really need, but also through the strength of their example, through how they participate in their community, and most importantly, because they bring innovation and new ideas and new business models to parts of the world that desperately need them. And the chief task, and possibly the only real task of impact investors, is to find the best impact entrepreneurs and invest in them. But even today, many would-be investors in the region assume, and I think wrongly, that there is a clear trade-off between financial returns and social returns. And if we have any job in this room, it's to show them that this is an old-fashioned way of thinking. And the best way to prove that is really not through rhetoric, but through action and results. This is a giddy, but it's also a perilous time for the field of impact investing and impact entrepreneurship. In the coming years, hundreds of millions of dollars of capital is going to be raised and eventually, we hope, deployed into this sector. There's a lot of buzz, and many are calling it hype. Many are saying it's a bubble. The real test for us is going to be whether the industry can deploy this capital in a way that creates the highest social impact possible. and that meets investors' return profiles. And I think that passing this particular test as an industry is going to require that we overcome the many, many barriers that make it so hard for investors and entrepreneurs to get deals done, especially early stage deals. And early stage deals are really, really important. Dollar for dollar, they can provide the highest social impact of any other kind of investment. But as we all know, investing in early stage ventures is very risky. The transaction costs are very high. Nevertheless, getting capital as quickly as possible to the people who have the best chance of putting that capital to work and turning it into results is a core capacity and competency that we as an industry have to cultivate. And as I speak right now, I'm speaking both for Agora Partnerships, which is an accelerator that invests and supports in the best early stage entrepreneurs that we can find in the region. But I'm also speaking as director of the Agora Venture Fund and as an investor. Our for-profit is invested in 11 seed and early stage deals. And so we understand where investors are coming from. I also personally speak as a for-profit entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur. And I can tell you from my experience that there is one major problem that is really at the root of all the other problems in our industry. And that problem is information, specifically a lack of information. It's the extreme difficulty of obtaining information that makes early stage impact investing so difficult. It's just too expensive and time consuming relative to deal size. And it's even harder in Central America with small markets and with the many challenges that we know all too well. What we've tried to do with our accelerator program is to help all of us rise to the occasion that this moment demands by doing everything we possibly can to help give you, as investors, the information you need to get deals done. And the first piece of information I think you need is really to make sure you're in the right room with the right entrepreneurs. And I think that you're in the right place. We have searched to find what we believe are some of the finest and most talented entrepreneurs in the region, and really the future leaders of the impact investment movement. And the entrepreneurs that you'll meet today as a group, I think they're just brimming with vision and potential. They're incredibly diverse as the impact investment community is. But finding talent is only a small piece of what's required to make a successful impact investment. You also need to find entrepreneurs who have designed their companies to maximize impact and who share your values. And finally, you need information from them. Lots of information, lots of data. Data that many entrepreneurs don't immediately possess because they're too busy growing their business. And in fact, what I've learned is that preparing for investment is an even bigger transaction cost for entrepreneurs than it is for investors. Our industry suffers because we're in our infancy. The rules have yet to be written, and we're writing them as we go. Everything is a little bit out of focus, and it always is when you're imagining the future. Our hope is that this conference puts opportunity in better focus for everyone. I want to extend an invitation from our board and our entire team to all the investors here today. Help us build this field. Collectively, we have a vision for a better way to heal our planet and to do it at a fraction of the cost of traditional approaches. But we can only realize this vision if we work together. Our industry is in desperate need of success stories, of case studies, of investors, entrepreneurs, and field builders working together to drive results in the sector. We need models, even first-generation models, that show how we can partner together to increase the flow of information and to build the social capital required to drive down transaction costs, reduce risk, and maximize returns. This is why we are here today. Our field is in need of a grand alliance of investors, impact entrepreneurs, and field-building nonprofits I hope we can set an example of how such an alliance could work. And before I close, I want to tell you what Agora will bring to this alliance. First of all, we're going to bring incredible human capital, including some of the best and brightest business school students in the world today, and an incredibly experienced and passionate and dedicated staff, the majority of whom are local and from the region. We're also going to bring our whole global community. We're going to bring new and innovative social media strategies. We're going to bring our relationships with some of the most influential global networks. We're going to bring our expertise in global reporting so that all entrepreneurs who go through our programs are providing information that can roll up into the various global initiatives to track the information about impact in our sector. All of the Agora companies will be Gears rated. These are going to be the first Gears rated companies in all of Latin America. That's what we're going to bring, and a lot more. We're going to back these entrepreneurs 100% as our resources permit, and hopefully more as our resources grow. My sincere hope is that everyone has a fantastic conference and learns something new. I'm sure I will. And I hope that conversations get started that lead to deals and to friendships and to personal and professional growth. I hope that we can send a message to governments, foundations, and the donor community that we have a better way to create change in this world through entrepreneurship and innovation. Because not only is the basic logic of impact investing sound, but hopefully here today we can actually find a way to make it work, to get deals done. And if we can do that, we'll be able to unleash the potential of the best entrepreneurs in the region to create impact in ways that we can only imagine. That ultimately, I think, is the goal of this conference and the message that I think we want to send to the world. So thank you all for coming, and let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. Thanks.